Alright, so these are the pads we're going to put in. The EBC HH centered brake pads. This is the model number here, part number if you want to order yourself a set. I'll put a link down below. The FA347HH. Made in America. America! So let's take a look at these. Let's compare them to I just pulled off the bike. So if we look at the angle, looks like the rotor's got stuff on it. And when you look at the thickness, I mean, they almost look like the same amount of thickness on them. Like they're both brand new pads. Very similar. Seems like the material on the stock ones go more to the edge. Along the bottom also. There's some interesting looking scraping going on right here. I'll try and compare them. You don't really need to remove this whole assembly if you're just changing the pads. You can just pull this bolt, this spring, and the pads should come out, and you can just push the pistons in with some pliers. If you want to clean everything, you can take it out and do that also. So let's go ahead and get this broken free. Put a little outward pressure on it while you're twisting it. Alright, pull it out past the spring. This is a little dirty, not too bad, we can clean that up. Spring should just come right out, which we'll clean that up also. It does look like there's a top and a bottom. It looks like the hole with the cut in it is the top, and just the cut is the bottom. And your pads should just come right out. Now these pads, they only got about 3,000 miles on them. So they shouldn't be that badly worn. I think these pads should last you somewhere around 10,000 miles. One thing I do want to elaborate on, don't ever push the brake lever when you got the brake pads off. Not that anybody would do that. So we're going to take some brake clean right here, just try and clean up this bolt. Now it's important that this bolt is clean and smooth, because this is how the pads slide. In the repair manual it says to put some silicone inside this hole, or this end, basically to lube this O-ring. Any brush will do, as long as it can take off whatever material you're trying to get it off. This is a copper special from the dollar store. You can buy a pack of 3, I think, for $1. If you're subscribed, you should know that Simple Simon tries to do as simple on the wallet as possible. Brings up a good point. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. Always good to have new members. You'll get notified when I put out some new content, because you know all my content is riveting and exciting. That will just sit in there like so. Now this here, I'm gonna have to work on this a little more, so I'll be back. Alright, I don't have any silicone, but I do have some grease, some synthetic bearing grease, so that's just gonna have to do. So we're just gonna put a little bit, and we're gonna put the pad in, of course, the material against the rotor. Make sure they're straight. And the spring. So now, push it on the inside. Push in on this spring, gotta apply some pressure to it. There we go. Give us a nice little snug tightening. Give it a little, pump them up a little bit. All said and done. So we can hold on to these in case, you know, these wear down and we need a new set of pads for temporary. We can just slap those bad boys in there. Or if we don't like these. Now, an old school trick that we used to do back in the mechanic days, you know, 20 years ago, is we'd take like a little buffing pad and we'd buff up the rotor to give it like a new surface to bed to kind of clean this up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. All right, so this side we're just gonna do the exact same thing, but just on the other side. Now, always remember that anytime you're changing brakes, doing anything with your brake work, you always want to pump the pedal or the lever, because there, see how that drops in? So if I didn't pump that and went out riding, something bad could have happened. All right, now that you have new brake pads in the front of your bike, there is a bed end process. And the bed end process is very important to get the maximum stopping power out of your pads. So step one is 6 to 10 stops from 30 miles an hour to 5 with light braking pressure. So very light braking pressure, long distance to slow down. Do it 6 to 10 times. On step 2, you want to do 4 to 6 stops from 40 to 5 miles an hour. Moderate braking pressure, so you'll want to stop faster. Then on your third step, your final step, you'll want to do 4 to 6 hard stops from 50 miles an hour down to 5. And so aggressively applying brakes, not doing stoppies, but braking really hard. So thanks for following along. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be bringing you some more content. So I'll see you in the next video.